when I was finishing out my studies at university, I had a sort of rough idea of what I wanted to do, but nothing kind of really specific. And then I landed upon the idea of advertising, and I wrote to all of the big London agencies at the time. And I wasn't very successful. And in the end, I wrote a handwritten letter. It was a cover note and then a printout of my CV, my resume, to a very small media agency. And they were so impressed with how legible and neat my handwriting was that they asked me in for an interview. And I joined, and I was part of a very small group working on a number of advertisers. And then from there, I got another lucky break. I got to interview and then got a job at Leo Burnett working on the McDonald's account, where I was there for a number of years. Then went to Sky on the broadcaster side. So all of that, I think you could identify as its point of origin, that handwritten letter with the very neat writing. You manage what you can measure, and a lot of the technology advancements over the last couple of years a lot of them were ID based. Like there were cookies, and there's first party data, and there's other ID resolutions. And so understanding who the person was that you were targeting with advertising, which is a very natural thing to media people, that allowed you to do lots and lots of work around, who should we be targeting and when and what device are they on. And I think that has driven the conversation largely in the industry. I think that's left creative out. I think we're having to confront the fact that whilst we have this bountiful access to lots and lots of ID type data, that's shrinking, particularly in places like Europe at the moment. And so I think people are having to reevaluate how to maintain and extend their competitive advantage, and creative is one of those areas I think that has the potential to do that. Cross-media measurement piece is a real nirvana for brands, big major advertisers, because I think they've come to accept that there are going to be more rather than fewer walled gardens. And so many large advertisers, particularly the ones that are tied into the ANA or other national advertiser associations across the world, they're very keen to build a measurements structure that goes across the top of that, which at the very least will be able to measure cross-media reach and frequency at the post-campaign level for TV and digital. There will be measurement at the sort of walled garden level. There'll be lots and lots of kind of measurement within those environments. There'll be measurement at the channel level. But the one that I think advertisers will be very enthusiastic about will be the cross-media measurement across some of their biggest publishers in TV and digital. In the broadest sense, which is data and tech to automate decision making, you could argue that AI in the broader sense has been around for a very long time in programmatic decisioning. But one of the biggest areas is going to be in the area of creative production and creative ideation. Legacy is going to be lowering the bar, lowering the point of access for SMBs, particularly into CTV. That people are going to look back and say, actually, AI was the thing that helped to break that down. Where I think Mediaocean and its companies more broadly is really well set in this environment is that you're not conflicted in any way. That the independent nature of the group of companies is, I would argue, one of your biggest assets, because you can go to clients and you can say, we think this is the way that you should do this, based upon the quality of your thinking and the quality of your products and your service levels. You're not doing it so that you can sell media on the back end. Make room for serendipity. And what I mean by that is it's very tempting, and I think I see this especially in the US workplace. It's very tempting to be very structured about how your career is going to evolve. So people deploy quite a structured approach, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do for your career. You've got to manage your career because no one else is going to do it for you. However, I would leave a little bit of room for serendipity, for chance. And I recruit, your own personal board of directors, do all of that stuff. But, sometimes just lean back a little bit, because otherwise you don't see the opportunities coming in.